Hi and welcome back. In this video, we're going to be looking at our next project, which is going to be a similar scraping project, only using a more complex site, and our project is going to do a few more things. The first thing to do is to think of what we want to scrape, what we want to get out of the site. And in this case, our project is going to do a couple of things, but essentially, we're going to scrape this books website. And again, the URL is books.toscrape.com. The toscrape.com site is a collection of websites that we can scrape freely and that have been designed for scraping, so they're good things to try out. And what we're going to do in our app is we're going to go through all the books they've got in their collection, and we're going to sort of filter through them. We're going to see which ones we could buy based on price and on the reviews and things like that. Essentially, making a faster and more efficient way of navigating the collection in order to find the books that we want to buy. So as you can see, this is the website here on the left, and we've got the inspector on the right. If you want to open the inspector, you can right-click anywhere and press inspect. And what's happening here is that we have 1,000 books in the catalog or the collection. And each book is in this format, as we can see. We've looked at this before. At the start of this section, we sort of investigated how to extract data if we had one of these books only. We're going to take it a bit further now and scrape the entire page. So we've got all of these books in this format. And if we go to the inspector and we look at the HTML, we can start by finding out the body of the page. Then we've got a div which contains everything except the header. And then there's a page inner that has essentially all the content and also adds sort of a bit of margins around the corners. You can see that this div here is slightly bigger than the other one. So all that's happening there is we're constraining the content so that it displays a bit nicer. Then we've got the breadcrumbs. We've got this row here. And then we have the sidebar, which has the different topics. This is something we could scrape if we wanted. And then we're going into the book collection. So in here we have a few things, such as the different results that we've got. And then there's a section. And in this section, we have a div. And that div is the one that contains a OL class row. This is an unordered list of the different books. And each book is inside a list item element. You can see that this one repeats itself because each book is inside a list item. Notice how the books are not formatted as list items, but nonetheless with HTML you can essentially display anything you want in any element. So in this case they're using list items. Maybe they thought that was easier for development purposes. Normally list items would be like bullet points. Now inside the list item is the stuff we already know. An article, which is the product pod that we've seen before. Then we've got a div, which contains the image. We've got the star rating, the title. We've got the price in there, as well as the add to basket button. So what we're going to do is we're going to, again, create a parser for the books that is going to be each list item is going to be passed into it. And each parser is going to search for the information about that book within itself. Okay, so it's going to be essentially a copy of the last project with some added functionality. And of course, now that we have prices, we're going to use the regular expressions module to get the price out as a number. And we're also going to be dealing with getting the star rating out of there. And then doing some sort of sorting and filtering using that star rating. Nonetheless, my advice, as usual, is to, now that we have implemented the quote scraper, try to implement this project on your own. It's not going to be easy, but you already know a lot of the things that you need in order to tackle this. And if you structure your project using the pages and scrapers, essentially one page for this entire page and one scraper for one parser for the books, then you should be able to tackle this pretty nicely. And you may not be able to do some of the more advanced things, but you'll be able to do something. So I definitely recommend you give it a break before moving on to the next video and try to implement this on your own. Okay, so once you've done that, let's move on to the next video and we'll start implementing it there. I'll see you there.